Hi, this is Will with Spiritual Clarity, and today's video is a question that I've gotten a lot from my holistic friends, my energy healer friends, but also from life coaches, sales coaches, high performance coaches, and the creative professionals. So people like home stagers, interior designers, those kinds of creative professionals. And it's this question of how do I not get other people's stuff on me? Now, that could look like taking things personally or being too sensitive. Not that I think that's really a thing, but being too sensitive to what other people say. So either comments on social media or live comments in person with real people. Or if you're an energy worker or a life coach and you lead group programs or you do one-on-one work with your clients, and then you replay the conversation or you can feel you're hanging onto their stuff, or you are an energy worker and you take on other people's emotions, other people's stuff, their anxiety, their depression, their anger, whatever it is. So those are the three degrees of awareness that those who would call themselves empaths literally feel angry when their clients get angry, even at a distance. And for everyone else, that sounds a little crazy. Or it could be that you literally take things too personally when you see a comment or someone says something to you directly. So this video is going to deal with all three of those with the same process. So this video is not for you if you love really complicated processes or even kind of complicated processes. So even the chakra system, wonderful process, wonderful system, but even that is way more complicated than what we're going to be talking about today. You may love many things, and they're all fantastic, but this is a very direct, in-your-face process. It's very direct. It's so direct that many people don't want to do it because it's a little too in your face. It's too bold. It's too direct. There's no beating around the bush. There's no I don't use softening language. Well, maybe you could consider. No, we just go straight to it with love, because my commitment is that you no longer need to hide. And then you no longer have a place to hide, that the rock that you might have been hiding under just gets smaller and smaller. So if you've been hanging back in your visibility work online, if you've been not promoting that new program, or if you have a new service that you want to offer but you haven't been, or you've got a book that you've written and it's time to promote it on social but you're not, this all applies. So the process is very simple, but then I'm going to give you a couple stories to describe in more detail from my own life. And the process is simply this. Instead of when you take things personally, or you're feeling too sensitive, or your empathic abilities kick in, instead of it being all these other things, managing your emotions or creating boundaries or creating energetic bubbles or looking at spiritual attachments or past lives or generational things, which all are valuable. I think that's all very valuable work. But in my experience, that's the exception. That's the 1 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times, it's this. So again, I'm not discounting that, but this is where I go first, and then I go to everything else. So it's simply this. A belief has been triggered. So you've got a belief about it, and that belief is creating this reality. So for example, someone says to me, Will, you're really greedy. If I hear that and it just goes, excuse me, right on through, or bounces off, or whatever, I don't have a belief about it. If someone says to me, oh, Will, you're a terrible singer, I go, that's interesting. But I've had thousands of people over my life compliment me on my singing, so I'm not going to be triggered by that. Now, if they said something like, I don't know, Will, you're not a very good provider for your family. Ooh, because I've had many moments where I wasn't. So that might hit me somewhere. So I've got a belief about it. And the same for you. If you're getting triggered by any of these things, if you're taking on other people's stuff, you've got a belief about it. So I'm going to give you 2 specific examples from my own practice, my own life, and you can extrapolate and see what beliefs might be getting triggered for you. And we'll go from there. So the first story is, it was about 6 months ago, and I just started working with a new client. We'll call her Susan. And Susan came to me because she was working in a job, one of the few clients actually that came to me in a job, not in her own business, but she had a lot of autonomy in her job, so it was like her own business. But she was taking things really personally. She was very sensitive. She had a lot of insecurities coming up around her workplace. And within the first week of working with her, I started to get anxious. I started to have way more anxiety than I would ever normally have. So I went to all those other places. Oh, well, maybe it's a spiritual attachment, or maybe it's a past life, or does she remind me of a sister I would have had in a past life, or maybe it's our generational DNA. Which again, I'm not trying to poke fun, but like for me, it was a crazy place to go because for me, I know better in my own process and what works for me. So I went to all these other places and nothing was working. I went for a walk in the woods, cleared my head, and realized, oh, it's not even my anxiety. It's just her anxiety. So for starters, that, as an empath, I'll just be aware of that. It's not even mine, it's hers. Okay, well, right there was 50% of the anxiety gone. And then I looked at, but why was I even picking up on her stuff in the first place? If I'm not in a session with her, I got no business picking up on her stuff. She didn't ask me to. So I realized very quickly it was an old belief that still comes back every once in a while in small ways. The belief of I'm responsible for her. That because she's now a client, I'm now responsible for her and her results, which is not true. So I cleared that belief. Woo! And the anxiety went away. Just like that, with the twitches and everything. Anxiety went away. So that's one example. The other example just happened yesterday, actually, and this is all fresh on my mind, and that's why I'm making the video now, because I just had a session with a client this morning who said, she literally said, Will, with your groups, how do you do it? How do you do the work and not allow that connection to continue when you're not intending it? Which is exactly why I'm making this video. So just yesterday, I was feeling a bit weird about my inner circle membership. I was feeling a bit needy, a little bit too attached. I was wanting to reach out to each member and check in personally, but not from a wonderful, magical space of taking extra time to really love on them and make sure that they've got everything they need, but from a needy place of, is everything okay? And I also realized that the same, whatever that belief was, the same, or whatever that thing was also blocking new members from joining because I still have a few more spots left in the membership. And things have slowed down, not just out in the world, but energetically from me. I could tell I've been in a bit of a slump the last week or two. And I knew that they were connected. So I went for a walk again and I looked at it. I checked in on the energy and I went, oh, right. No. It's none of those things. It's just this. What's the belief? What belief is getting triggered? What belief do I have about this? And I realized I had a belief of I need these clients. I need them to pay the bills. I need them to know that I'm good at what I do. I need them to whatever. Just all those things, all those emotional, weird things that come in if you let your guard down for just a moment and the inner critic comes rushing in and goes, meh. And I realized that same belief was blocking new clients from coming because if I was feeling this needy about this many clients, well, then I can't allow new members to come in because then I'm going to feel even more needy and I'm going to feel even worse if I have more clients. So I can't handle any more clients. Just sheepishly raise your hand on your own, in the privacy of your own home if you're watching this and that sounds a little bit like you or something's dinging. Woo, yeah, there's a lot of energy on this still for me and for the people watching this video in the future. So when I cleared that belief, the belief that wow, there's still so much there. The belief that I need my clients or that my clients need me. Then the rest of my walk was wonderful. I felt better. Things can move in the right direction. And all that anxiety goes away. So it all comes down to what's the belief that you have about it. If you're taking something personally, what's the belief about it? If you are an empath and you're getting other people's stuff on you, what's your belief about it? And that's why so many people want to go for a different process. And again, that's great. That other process is probably better for them. But for me, I like this really simple, straight in your face. There's really only one question to ask, kind of anytime anything happens. What's your belief about it? What's the belief? What's the belief? What's the belief? If you just run that little tape in your head all the time, I'd be very happy. What's the belief? What's the belief? What's the belief? Kind of like, what's your beef for any of my Canadian clients that are watching? All my American friends have no idea what I was just talking about, but you could look it up. What's your beef? Okay. It's like the Buddha in the background. Hey! So all of that to say, everything else is very valuable work, the spiritual attachments. But if you look at the belief first, 9 times out of 10, You'll be back on track in a jiffy. Now, obviously, if you'd like some one-on-one help or support with this kind of thing, look me up, send me an email. But even just watching this video is going to help you build some awareness around what that is so that you can now be in choice and step out of those tendencies. So I hope this has been helpful. Have an amazing day. Be like the Buddha. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.